But people are constantly negotiating their shorter-term satisfaction with their longer-term expectations of satisfaction. But all of that happens in the present moment. So when you take something like clinical perfectionism, like I've previously mentioned, working way too hard at something, that state of trying really, really hard to do something in the present moment exists in a context that is partially socially defined. So it might be appropriate in a different context, and then it's become inappropriate in the context in which you're presently laboring. But on the other hand, if you take that person and put them in a different context, for example, one in which they have to look like they're working really hard, which is common on many job sites, then once again, their laboring becomes more context appropriate. So it's all about action context fit, and that is constantly changing. Like the reason we're constantly moving, why our bodies are never at a stasis, is because there's this chaotic interplay between our present and past and future expectations. It's all happening in the present. So the narrative of clinical perfectionism is just one of many, many narratives that can be put to bear on the issue of a sense of working too hard. What actually matters is whether it's working for you or not, whether you're enjoying what you're doing, because what we want is that satisfaction, and the expectation of satisfaction is something that gives satisfaction in the present moment. So that's why people are able to just constantly be imagining a pleasant future that never comes, and use that instead of living well in their present life. They're living well by simply imagining. So imagining a future is a kind of escapism that's perhaps less honest than the simple kind of escapism of truly imagining that you're something else entirely. I'm enjoying being here right now. This arm's a little tingly though, because I'm leaning on it. You can see the poor circulation. I have quite poor circulation. I've been finding so much satisfaction lately in embracing being a fundamental failure to launch situation. That, okay, this consciousness is playing out the clock. There's nothing I have to do. I'm going to suffer in various ways that are different from the ways I have suffered, but that I don't need to hold to a particular narrative that's defined by other people about what constitutes a meaningful life. And perhaps that is, a lot of people would use a narrative that's an overcompensation for previous perfectionism in terms of trying to fit too many narratives at the same time, to the point where it becomes a physical impossibility considering my limitations. And perhaps that's true.